the PNP chooses the Jamaica Labour Party. That's what I got from the manifesto. It is indeed a cut and paste of the Andrew Holness administration's policies. In terms of our teachers, I noted there was a proposal to remove GCT from laptops for teachers. I would like to again remind Jamaica that this administration has provided 25,000 vouchers to our teachers to provide them with the resources to get their laptops. Every single teacher in Jamaica has their laptop. So we're not just talking about eliminating a tax, we're actually giving them the laptop. So that proposal seemed a lot very strange. It also spoke to training our teachers in terms of technology, but we're doing a lot of that already. In partnership with the EU, we are upskilling and reskilling our teachers in ICT. We're also rolling out more technology and AI tools in our schools. Right now, we have an AI tool that can mark papers. And our teachers, some of them are using it now so they don't have to mark papers on their own. On school nutrition, another area where we are doing so much work on nutrition. We already spend $9 billion a year to support our children, especially those on PATH. And I've already announced, I announced this months before the budget presentation, that we were going to extend our nutrition support. We're not doing one meal for our students who are on PATH. For our schools where we have children who are underperforming, I have announced on several occasions that come September, we are going to be doing 2 meals per day, breakfast and lunch, for all of those vulnerable children. And so when I read ease, I say that is our policy too, that has been cut and pasted. Onto that, broadband access. The manifesto notes that they're going to be doing more broadband. We are already doing that. 700 schools, over 700 schools now have internet, and more than 380 communities have Wi-Fi. In terms of civics in schools, I have the wonderful minister, former Minister of Education here with me. She introduced civics back into schools in 2022. So this notion that we're going to introduce civics that the PNP has in their manifesto makes no sense because it has already been reintroduced. Over 500 schools have introduced civics. In addition to that, we are also introducing it not just at the high school level, but we're going through the entire process. So from your basic school to your primary school to your secondary school, it's been introduced. And there's so many more that I could talk about. If we look at literacy and numeracy, a few minutes after I was appointed Minister of Education on October 31, 2024, I said that the goal of the administration and my goal would be to focus on literacy and numeracy and to ensure that every child is literate and numerate before they leave primary school. But then I read in the manifesto, the PNP promises that every child can read, write, do arithmetic, and reason by age 12. Sounds like exactly what I said on October 31, 2024. I will go to digital transformation, and one thing that really struck me was when I read a particular sentence, and it said the PNP is promising to introduce digital identification cards with biometric security for seamless access to services. I had to read it again, and then I wondered if I was reading what I actually saw, and I read it again. Introduce digital identification cards with biometric security for seamless access to services. That is NIDS. That is the same NIDS that was fought. It's the same NIDS that was challenged that now finds its way into a manifesto. But I'd like to remind Jamaica that NIDS was launched in late 2024. In addition, in terms of labs, I saw something about labs, and we're going to put more investment into labs. I've already announced a $400 million initiative, an investment in all 15 of our technical high schools. And we're going to put in state-of-the-art labs. So for example, I'll give you some examples. St. Andrew Technical High School will get a renewable energy lab. Herbert Morrison is getting a robotics lab. Dintil Technical is getting a lab for digital construction. Kingston Technical is getting a virtual welding lab. And St. Elizabeth Technical is getting a mechatronics lab. This is the kind of visionary work that we're doing. We're not writing a sentence about a lab. We're actually already doing it. In terms of early childhood education, I saw a note that said the PMP is seeking to reintroduce structured early childhood screening from age 3 to identify special needs early. And I'd like to note that recently I spoke to Jamaica about this being a top priority of the administration already. And we have already implemented a new age 4 assessment across all of our basic schools in Jamaica, where we are looking at being able to do just that. And so the Jamaica Early Childhood School Readiness Assessment was designed to screen 4-year-old children for child developmental delays and readiness for primary school. All students who have been identified as potential special needs children have a new program that's been created for them to support their continued development. So on those points, we're already doing it, and that's already been articulated as policy. In relation to special education, it's another area we have spoken a lot about. And when I looked at what it says a lot of what we are already doing. So, for example, it notes that we're going to provide resources to place an emphasis on the diagnosis of learning disabilities. I thought that was what I wrote. I had to read it again. It sounded exactly like what we've been doing in our administration. We have noted that we are building a new diagnostic center for children with special needs at CASE. And just on Sunday, at our mass rally, the Prime Minister again articulated how central special needs are and how we are expanding services to parents of children with special needs. They talk about AI, artificial intelligence, and having an AI and ethics commission. We convened a AI task force early. We have an AI policy in education. We're the first country in the Caribbean to have that. We're already a leader in AI and doing big things in artificial intelligence. In terms of my thoughts, having read those sections and analyzed it and analyzed the broader document, it appears that the manifesto is really, their manifesto is really a Choose the Jamaica Labour Party manifesto, or indeed a Choose the Andrew Holness administration manifesto. And I say it's indeed a love letter, but it's a love letter to the policies of the Jamaica Labour Party.